Hello everyone and welcome to episode 13 of Suplexes and Microphones. I'm Joe, this is Nate, and sitting between us is Mr. Do or Die, Chip Day. Chip, man, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you guys for having me. I've been looking forward to this for, God, what now, like the last 2 months?
Yeah, we started talking to you about that long ago. I'm going to let Nate kind of kick off when we first saw you, and we're going to talk about this belt here as well, which I was lucky enough to see you win this, what was it, a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
But Nate, I'm turning over to you.
Sure. One thing is I like to talk about Chip when a wrestler comes on. I like to talk about their kind of character a little bit. And I was trying to think how to describe you as a character, and I couldn't really think of one. You seem to be kind of yourself, you know, kind of the pop punk thing.
Yeah.
Skater, is that even a thing still? I don't know, I'm dating myself. I'm an 80s kid, so Vision Streetwear, 80s skater. I'm really dating it now, but how would you classify yourself if you were to describe yourself to a promoter as far as your character?
I'm an amalgamation of a lot of things, man. I think the best way I could describe myself is I am a purveyor of mosh pit martial arts. I was raised in the circle pits of Kennesaw in the mosh pits of Marietta, man. By a broken home and a TV screen. I'm a middle child of history is how I would describe myself. I never felt the love from everybody else, especially in wrestling. Just a pop punk kid, middle child of history. That's how I guess I would describe myself.
I like that. Now, one thing is that if I were to describe you, I'd say, well, when he gets introduced, he has a lot of nicknames.
Oh yeah.
And so who kind of had the nickname first thing?
You were David Starr. That was David Starr.
Okay.
That was David Starr.
Yeah,
like I saw him. Saw he had a bunch of them, and I was like, I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, talent borrows, genius steals, right?
Sure. Everything's borrowed anyway. It's nothing.
Right. Like everything under the sun's been done. So
sure.
I just wanted to. I don't know. I guess I wanted to put my own little spin on it. But when we wrestle each other, it definitely makes for fun intros.
It makes for a long intro.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. It's 5 minutes right there.
So what's with the arrow thing you do when you get up on the?
I'm a big green arrow mark.
Oh.
Like the comics were, let's be honest, the comics kind of sucked. But like recently with what DC's been doing on TV, Green Arrow is absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm a big Oliver Queen fan.
Let me step in here.
Go ahead. It's your zone right here.
What about Kevin Smith's run on Arrow on the Green Arrow?
Oh man, those were great episodes.
Right. We're moving forward now.
Awesome episodes.
That's all you had to say.
Like the Speed Force episode that he directed for Flash was awesome. I think they just need to give him the reins and let him have the shows, man. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
He does. Okay, just
hell, let him direct the movie. Let him direct one of the movies. Like his movies were obviously successful.
Sure.
So, like,
well, and he's got such comic genius.
Exactly.
Yeah. It Joe's the comic book guy. If you hadn't, more so than me, I'm the more wrestler guy. Well, you like wrestling too, but
just
anyway, just a little bit.
I'm all over the place.
I'm singing. I'm music. That's more my thing.
That's true.
I'm more music, and you're more comics, and we're both wrestling. So. Let's run through some of your nicknames. If you can give us a little background as far as where they came from, if there's something behind them, like you explained the Green Arrow thing to me.
Yeah, Atlanta's Arrow.
Okay, I have my list.
You've got them. Okay, let's go. Let's go.
So don't miss any. Do or die.
That was a nickname given to me by one of my trainers, Jimmy Rave. At the time, I was 17 or 18, and I was looking to branch out to different places in Georgia, and he wanted me to go to Anarchy, and at the time, it's not something I really was ready to do, but we came up with this whole character where I would be this surfer kind of kid because Laguna Beach was really big at the time, and like I had shaggy hair. I kind of looked like Ashton Kutcher. Bad fashion decisions. But he was like, this is like that's your attitude towards everything is you're gonna do it or you're gonna die trying. So like that one's been around forever. But yeah, I gotta credit Jimmy with that one, and that's just the attitude that I carry with me every single day.
I like that. South's best kept secret.
That's self-explanatory. Yeah, like I've been grinding in the South for almost 2018, 13, 14 years in June. No, 15 years in June.
And how old are you?
20.
Something.
I'm in my 20s.
Okay. Well, we're in our 40s, so
Yeah.
I'll be 30 in June.
Okay.
Luckily, I still look like I can be on Disney, so.
Yeah. So, Atlanta's Arrow.
I am the protector of wrestling in Georgia. just like Ollie, if he sees some stuff going down that he's not really fond of in his city, he's going to take care of it, get it out. So like that's how I view myself and how I watch over wrestling in my state. If I don't like the way something's going, I'm either going to try and change it, or I'm just going to completely eradicate it and get it out.
Okay.
Get it out of my scene, man.
Well, speaking of the wrestling of the state, we're here at Viral Pro Wrestling in Thompson, Georgia, and we're super excited that it's your third show here.
Yes.
We're doing every other month.
Yeah.
So third time being here, and we've been trying to get you here for a year, put your name in people's ears, and not the music thing, because of course your talent speaks for itself.
Right.
But we definitely been pulling
hey,
for you.
man, fan demand is a lot more than people actually realize, though.
Well, we talked to the promoter a good bit, and he actually, every now and then asks us, what do you think about this person? And I don't know if you recall, but at PWX Rise of a Champion, I sat down with you real quick, and I said, hey, what about Viral? Have you heard of Viral? And you're like, actually, yeah, I think that promoter's contacted me. That was at least 6 months ago for that show. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we're really glad you're here. Obviously,
I'm glad I'm here. This place has been awesome.
Georgia's top prospect. Back to the nicknames.
Okay, so that one was a shot at a very well-known Sinclair broadcast wrestling company.
Okay.
People were tweeting at them, telling them, put Chip in the top prospect tournament, do this, do this, do this, and those fans were met with, well, this isn't the way to do it. He has to go through these proper channels and pay for a tryout and all that kind of stuff. Which, guys, I'm gonna do eventually. But at the moment, it's one of those things where I didn't feel like, it's one of those things where I've got this little bit of sense of entitlement because, like you guys say, my work speaks for itself, I feel. So that was a shot saying, I'm the best in Georgia, I'm the top prospect, no matter whether I'm in some tournament or not. So.
Okay. And this might be self-explanatory as well, but the James Dean of professional wrestling.
One, I'm a really good-looking dude. Modest. And the whole thing with James Dean was everybody only recognized him really for the last 3 movies that he did, which was East of Eden, Giant, and Rebel Without a Cause. Not in that order, but everybody only recognized him for those 3 moments of time, which he did so much more work on like TV and commercials and like in plays and stuff that people don't even recognize or give him credit for and realize how brilliant he was, except for those 3 flashes of time. And I think that's something that's been with me is like, oh, Chip was great in this. Chip was great in this Trevor match. He was great in this Martin match. He was great in this. And like, that's cool, but like, look at my body of work. Like, I've got quality stuff. I can put on really good matches and make great moments. But I don't know. People just want to focus on little flashes of time. But James Dean was a classic, so am I.
True. Wrestling's last rebel.
Once again, tying back to the James Dean thing, I kind of came up with that with, like a lot of people just, especially today, they just walk the line and like just do what people tell them to do without even questioning things. And when I bring it upon myself to be like, well, that doesn't make sense, and I ask questions and want to do things my own way, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people in wrestling do that. So I think that's a pretty fitting nickname for me. And you're welcome for that High Spots. I hope you're selling a lot of DVDs with that name on it.
Made in Kennesaw.
Yeah, man. Kennesaw, Georgia's my hometown. It's where I was raised and brought up, and where I've got a lot of really good memories. So yeah, that town made me, man. And I'm just trying to put it on my back and let everybody know around the world that Kennesaw's wrestling history just as much as Cobb County and Marietta is.
You still live in that area?
Yeah, I can actually be, like the house I'm in now, I can be on Barrett Parkway in Kennesaw within like 7 minutes.
Okay.
It's great.
They say Atlanta, but that can be...
Right. Atlanta can be 30 miles outside, man.
It can be down to McDonough. So.
Exactly.
People in Rome, Georgia. I'm from Atlanta.
No, you're not really.
No, you're not.
The Kennesaw kick machine is one that, it's not on your shirt, but Joe pointed out to me that he heard.
Yeah, that was actually given to me by, who started calling me that? I wanted to say it was a fan named Chris Despain that comes to AWE and UIW outside in West Georgia. I'm pretty sure he came up with that, and it was right before I was wrestling Sammy Callahan. There's a Callahan Death Machine, so they came up with that, and I was like, well, just gonna have to roll with that.
Yeah,
So
I like that one.
yeah,
I
man.
like that too. I was thinking Taz, assuming
Oh yeah,
suplex machine. I'm a suplex guy, obviously. And Chip F and Day, is that basically the T-shirt?
Like
ECW?
ECF and W.
Yeah. So like the fans of PWX, they took to me over the last few years because I've kind of grown up in front of them, which is crazy to think. And one time they started saying Chip and Day, and then Brian got really upset.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because we were taping for TV at the time.
Yeah.
We'd just gotten a TV deal, and he'd asked everybody, he was like, we're going to be taping for TV, can we just change it to Chip F and Day? And so off of that, I was like, well, I'm getting t-shirts made, and they were hot sellers. Probably need to get more.
Okay. Joe and myself have only been part of following indie wrestling for maybe a year and a half now at this point. Still kind of new to it. Mm-hmm. So we went to X16 a little over a year ago, and that was a great way to introduce us to a lot of indie wrestlers in the Southeast we hadn't had a chance to see. And it's actually the first time we got to see you wrestle.
Yep.
At X16, 2016, you wrestled Trevor Lee in the first round. Had a good match with him. So that's first exposure to you, and first time I got to see you wrestle live. And I really took a liking to you. It might have been part of it just being in Charlotte. Here's this Georgia guy that's kicking butt, kind of thing. So associated with you that way. But next time we saw you live, we went to another PWX show, Rise of the Champion 12. It was in February. You had a ladder match with Cade, Tracer, Colby, Darius, and White Mike.
Good old White Mike.
At himself at the end there, but that was a great match. Of course, ladder match is always entertaining.
Yeah.
And they get the level of talent like you guys had in there. Can you talk a little bit about that match?
That was actually one of the matches I enjoyed more than anything this past year. We had the multiple deaths of White Mike in that match. We had the story of Tracer and Darius at the time because they were just going back and forth between because Darius was with the Revolt at the time and Tracer was trying to get at him. Had Colby in the match trying to just prove himself as as the lone duck, I guess, in that situation since Rob and Lance had a tag match that night. And you had me doing what I've always done is scrambling and trying to get to the top of the ladder at PWX and take what I feel is mine all the time at PWX. And then Jason Cade doing absolutely crazy things I'm just gonna bridge this ladder between the rail and the apron and then dive off of it.
And not a regular ladder either.
No,
it was the big heavy duty construction
fiberglass.
The kind
no
of
big
bounce
break.
off of them.
Yeah.
He
The kind of have
bounced
to
off
use.
of them.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
Yeah, it didn't bend. It's just
That was a nasty bump.
Screw all that, man. That's why I just stick to kicking, man.
But you won that match.
Yeah, well, I took advantage of a very, very fortunate situation where I saw Tracer going up, and I was like, oh, he's got skinny legs. I can pull him through this and start climbing, and then I kicked him in the face. And then I broke Brad Stutz's clipboard.
Oh, no.
But it's okay.
And we usually don't talk spoiler alerts or storyline very much, but I know PWX took some time off, and we don't get to go to those shows very often either, so we hadn't been to very many since then. But I know part of the stipulation when that ladder match was you getting a contract to wrestle after a title, either ITV title or the
whatever title
singles
I want.
title,
Really,
whatever it was.
I can grab a partner and go after the tag titles. That's my understanding.
Okay.
It's my understanding.
So has anything else been done with that angle at all, or
Nope.
are they kind of
Nope.
put on hold?
Last time I was there was, oh God, when was the last show? The one in Shelby last time. He Who Cast the First Stone. It was me versus David Starr. And the only thing that even remotely had anything to do with that contract was Darius was coming to the back. He gets to the stage. My music hits. I pass him. I tap him on the shoulder. I pull out the contract, show it to him. Don't get too comfortable. And that's been my whole thing with every champion at PWX. Do not get too comfortable. Keep looking over your shoulder. Y'all got gold and it all belongs to me, whether you realize it or not.
And again, not so much try to be a spoiler alert, but we don't talk angles or try to ask for information, but any idea if you're going more towards ITV or if you're going more towards the singles or tag, or is that just something we have to wait and find out?
I think everybody's just going to have to wait and find out what my motives are on that one.
Okay, I'm good with that. And so here at Fire, like I said, this is your third show. The first show you made your debut in August against Tracer X.
Yep.
Match of the night. easily, in my opinion.
That was the first time we've ever touched one-on-one, too.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you too when we're talking before the interview. I was like, so have you wrestled before? You said just a ladder match.
Yeah, and even then we didn't do that much stuff together in that. So like, it's one of those things where, man, you find guys that you have great chemistry with, like that out of nowhere. Like Tracer's one of those guys. Corey Hollis is one of those guys.
Shane should say that.
He didn't invite me to his wedding, so we've got heat.
Legit heat.
Bang. But you know, it's whatever. Yeah, man. So Tracer's one of those dudes. He's just really good.
Okay. And then the last time, it was October, I think you had a tournament match. Owen Knight, I think
I
you
had
wrestled
two tournament
first.
matches
Yeah,
that
two
night.
matches that night.
Yeah.
And then the match with Darius Lockhart, which again, in my opinion, match of the night. You guys really put a show on. Have you two worked together before at all? Or?
Not singles. Again, that was the first time I'd ever wrestled singles with Darius.
You guys put a clinic on that night. That was really good. I want to talk about Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment a little bit. It's down the road from us, but we just haven't been able to make it, or I haven't. Joe made one show recently. So let's talk about, it's not you're kind of bought in, like you said, you protect Georgia.
Yeah.
The area, Atlanta area is your backyard, so you're protected with that, it seems. A couple quotes you said when I asked you about the Fed, you said, "I love what we do there."
Yeah.
It's not to really take a stake of ownership in that place. So.
Yeah, man. That's my baby. Josh Wheeler hit me up and he was like, "Do you want to be a part of this company?" And I said, "Yeah. Why? What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, we kind of want to like build the company around you." And I was like, "Well, that's really cool. Yeah, of course I'd love to come in, help out." And obviously I'm going to try and raise the status quo on what I think wrestling in my city should be, in my state, let alone not just my city, because unfortunately when I get on Facebook every now and then, people decide to share the memory of seeing a wrestling show in a Walmart with people that I know from like North Georgia, and that's just not what I want like the perception of wrestling in Georgia or Atlanta itself to be of, they're wrestling in a Walmart in front of 50 of their friends and family. Like, yeah, I want my friends and family to come, but I don't want it to be like, I don't want people to look down their noses at wrestling in Georgia. So
Another quote you said was, "Fans are more rabid and cutthroat." So
let's
talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, our fans are vicious, man. Our fans are vicious. We had a guy come in and wrestle Martin Stone in 2000, like the early part of 2016, and they did not let this guy like have anything. Like they were just cussing him, telling him that he looked like absolute crap. They don't like having their time wasted, man. I would compare the AWE fans to the old fans at the ECW arena. Where they're just waiting. They're just waiting with bated breath to watch you screw up, or just to not be sure of yourself or anything like that. Because our fans, they see what's real and they see what's not. And if you're trying to put on something that you're not, they're going to catch on and they're going to let you know that you are not the real deal.
Okay. It did feel like an old ECW show when I was there.
Yeah, I wanted Joe to talk about AWE, your experience.
It was amazing the fact that in that opera nightclub, you got fans basically leaning on the ring during the match. People were diving out, and the fans were just having to be, quick
yeah, we might have people catch
get out
sometimes.
the way. I mean, that venue's really neat. I know y'all don't necessarily work there every time. This next one is in Marietta, but that venue was really neat, really interesting. For that type of show, I thought it was perfect. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, that was like the first positive end of the night that I'd had at Opera. Like the Monday night show before that, I won, but I got on the mic and said some stuff I probably shouldn't have said. It happens when you're angry.
Well, when you did win, when I was there, when you took this title, you got on the microphone, and I was telling Nate, you were actually pointing out fans that had been with you from the very beginning. You remember? You named 3 or 4 people, maybe more, and I thought that was really cool for you to recognize that, these people have supported you, and AWE as well.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things, man. Like, I'm not one of these guys that, like, wants to sit here and be like, oh, you're just consumers, you're just going to give me $20, here's a t-shirt, send you on your way. Like, that's not what wrestling fans are. That's not how we as wrestlers, and whether we want to put it on ourselves or not. We're kind of role models. Don't be like me, kids. I'm not a role model. But like we gotta have a better standard of like, we appreciate you guys, because if fans didn't come, we wouldn't have anybody to perform in front of. Like and nobody likes performing in front of nobody. So, yeah, man, I'm just real thankful for everything that we've got at AWE right now. So
yeah, it's funny the way you interacted. You and I had only had a couple of conversations, and you posted something about one of your shirts, which I'm wearing, a Chip Day shirt right now. I've got two. And you actually, I said something about how I wanted that one. You actually messaged me and said, "Hey, hold up, because I've got a different version coming."
Oh yeah,
and
I got it in the bag now. Yeah.
I thought, wow, that was really neat for him to point that out. So I feel like you as a wrestler are kind of invested in what the fans are looking for, and having so that it's not a full relationship, but there is some recognition there at least.
Well, I don't want to feel like I'm just some dude sharking people for money. Like I want people to feel like they can approach me with anything. Like I want to feel like that kid you went to high school with and you're catching up with them again. You know what I mean? Like I want to be everybody's friend. Some people make it very hard for me to be their friend, and like maybe some people say some stuff on social media that oversteps the line of fandom. But yeah, man, we're all cool. We can all be cool. We can all be friends. Go hang out after the show. You guys can buy me a drink. If I feel like drinking that night.
Or at the show for AWE.
Yeah.
The bar right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk about your style a little bit. Let's see, you have some MMA submission, a lot of kicks, strong kick style. So I was a little surprised your answer to this, but tell me about your MMA training.
None at all. I watched a lot of Power Rangers when I was a kid. I watched a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I just watched UFC. Like when it started booming, like in 2004, 2005, I started watching a lot of that, and that's where I picked up submissions and a lot of striking stuff. But honestly, a lot of my style is based off the fact that one, I used to fly a lot and I got hurt, and you don't learn how to work until you get hurt. So I had to look out for this shoulder a whole lot, so I stopped flying as much. I started realizing I can get as much of a reaction and do as much damage with a kick as I can doing a 630. And a kick hurts me a lot worse on Sunday mornings and takes a lot less effort. So I got hurt, started kicking more, and then I started watching a lot of Davey Richards. But then I realized, like, I can't be Davey. Davey's way too good at being Davey. So I'm going to have to be myself. So I kind of just took the base model of Davey Richards and kind of put my own spin on it. And, I stayed true to the people that I loved watching coming up, which was Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, Randy Savage, Jeff Hardy. I do the Swanton every now and then. So, like, yeah, big Jeff Hardy fan. But, yeah, man, my style is just... it's aggressive, submission, kick, flying kind of guy. I don't know. I'm just a weird amalgamation styles. But yeah.
We mentioned Owen Hart. I think he kind of had all his influences.
Oh yeah, yeah. Owen was the man.
I see a lot of Owen in you.
Yeah, I see that too.
You know what's creepy is if I go to Snapchat and like face swap myself with Owen Hart, like I'm gonna look like that dude in a few years. It's scary.
Wow.
When Nate told me that you said you didn't have any background, I'm a martial artist. I said, Nate, he's lying.
Okay, so like none past like the age of maybe like 8 or 9. Like I did Taekwondo for a while, but I was a terrible kid. Absolutely terrible. I would screw around so much, and like I only made it to like orange or yellow belt. And like my orange belt had like 4 or 5 stripes on it, which if anybody knows, that means I got my belt taken away for disciplinary purposes. So yeah, man. I took Taekwondo. That was really it.
Okay.
But if I'm a believer as a martial artist watching you do the techniques, then you're probably you're probably pretty good at making them happen.
I appreciate that.
So you talked about your influences just then. You wrestled. The wrestlers you mentioned are all WWF, WWE guys. Mm-hmm. You're from Atlanta. We're talking late '90s.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a WCW kid. Don't get me wrong. I would flip back and forth between the Monday Night Wars. But yeah, man, like the first memory I ever had of going to wrestling was a WCW show. I went to center stage, and I remember seeing Sting versus Flair. Maybe it was that tag match where like Flair got the tag and came in and like punched Sting in the face with Arn and Brian Pillman. Maybe. I just remember Sting and Flair. I remember them so vividly. And Sting had like on the orange and yellow and black face paint. So I remember that. And then Johnny B. Bad firing the Bad Blaster off. Yeah, that's like my earliest memory of going to a wrestling show.
Did you get some of that glitter that he?
I know I got a piece of confetti, but I'm pretty sure I lost that in a move when I was like 8. So.
Something I like to ask about sometimes. My perspective of the interview is try to get to know people and ask questions that maybe the fans might be curious if they had a chance to talk to you like we are. I like to ask, I'm curious a lot of times what people do as their regular job during the week, Monday through Friday, what you do between weekends kind of thing. And always get permission first.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, well, believe it or not, wrestling does not pay my bills. I actually work for my buddy's sports collectibles and eBay business. Like, you guys have seen American Pickers, right? Mm-hmm. I'm one of those dudes. Like, I go out and find like old sports memorabilia and stuff for my buddy to sell, and I make some commission off that. So it's a really easy paying job. Like, it's a really well paying job, but the work is not fun at all. Especially like with the weather that's going on back in my side of town. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine what next week's going to be like. Go to this barn and find old stuff. It's like, dude, it's like 32 degrees outside right now. Can I just sell stuff online this week? It doesn't work like that, though.
I like your entrance music. It's a little different. It's like a pop punk style. I looked it up, and so it's "Stay Lit" by Knockout Kid. So I looked that up and asked you some of your other musical influences, and so a lot of pop punk, metalcore, something a little different. What kind of got you into that style of music and appreciation?
It's the attitude behind that kind of music is very much something I can relate to. It's really angsty. I'm almost out of my 20s right now, and I'm just still filled with angst for no reason. Well, there's reasons, but we won't dive into that. And like, it's just one of those things, man. Like, it's screamy, it's angry, but at the same time, it's they've got those melodic breakdowns a lot of time, and I like singing, not in front of people, but like if I'm in my car and we're on a road trip or something, like I'm pretty sure I annoy the entire carload just starting to sing and stuff. So. Yeah, man, I like really aggressive, like upbeat stuff. So pop punk music, and like metalcore and stuff is just something I always gravitated to because it always spoke to I guess how I felt and how I perceived myself coming off to other people. So.
Is that something you went to a lot in your area, like you mentioned, going to mosh pits and whatnot?
Yeah, they had like punk nights on Thursday or Friday at this place called US Play, which also used to host wrestling shows on Wednesday nights. And one of my memories that I have from going to that is I saw a band called She Goes Boom. They're not together anymore, which makes me really sad because they were really good. And my buddy like grabs me from behind under my arms and just starts like swinging me around to where my feet are almost kicking people in the face. And then like he sets me on stage. He's like, stage dive. And I'm like, no, and I'm fighting him so much, and like he cracks his head on like one of the speakers, one of the monitors, and he's got like this big mouse on his eye right here. And I just stepped down, and I was like, you're dumb. Wow. Like, I'm not gonna stage dive onto 4 people that I know aren't gonna catch me. I'm 13, like, come on, man, nobody's gonna catch me.
So, but that Stay Lit, it's more like up tempo. It's a fun song.
Yeah.
That's wwhy it interests me enough to ask you about it, because it's different. A lot of wrestlers that come out to hard rock or some rap, something like that.
Right.
It's a little more up-tempo, fun, kind of that was neat.
I chose that because like I started using that around April or May. Last winter I'd gone through some personal stuff and like still kind of going through some personal stuff, but I got to a point where I was like, I'm not gonna just sit around and be angry anymore, you know what I mean? Like, worrying and being angry about everything isn't doing me any favors. I'm gonna find something to be like happy about. And that song, like, I just found it, like, okay, I didn't just find it. Chris Crunk, yes, Chris Crunk turned me on to this band, and I found him, and I love that song, and I think it expresses everything that I feel has been going on for the last year in my life, like, having the time of my life doing what I've wanted to do for, as long as I can remember, so. We'll have fun doing it,
It's real positive. It's fun. It's a neat song. So like I said, I've watched you wrestle about a year now. I only started following you on social media within the past, I guess, a couple months or so.
Oh man, you missed all the anger.
I missed
most of it.
So I noticed something you like to talk about a lot is your hair.
Yeah.
And I really like my hair, and if I had more of it, I would do more stuff with it, but half of it's gone, so I just gotta do what I can. But so with your hair obsession, is that something recent, or is that something all your life you kind of did into?
I've always been really, really particular about my hair. I don't know if you guys watch Key and Peele, but the Mr. T segment. Where he's like, a man's hair is the artwork that he presents to the heavens. Very, very accurate with how I feel about my hair. I don't know, man. I've just always been really particular about how my hair is and how it looks and stuff.
I like the purple you got going right now.
Yeah, I tried to dye it all truffle brown, and this was really blonde. So this just turned purple, and then everything back here is black, / violet. I feel like I'm half Raven from Teen Titans, and then a little bit of Future Trunks. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's fun. I'm happy with it.
So you've always had the obsession. It's nothing new. It's just a.
Yeah, man. It's just my hair. It's just my hair.
You've had it.
Oh, my hair.
Oh. All right, Joe. Let's kick us off on our features.
Okay. Our first feature is called the over the top rope question, and what we'll do is we'll get a question from our previous guest, which was Shay McGrady. Shay wants to know, if you had a match with him, what would the special stipulation be? Cage match, no DQ, street fight, 2 out of 3. Pick the gimmick for the match.
First one to finish 7 waffles wins.
You know he would beat you though, right?
Oh, probably.
Have
yeah.
you heard how many corn dogs the guy can eat?
No, I haven't heard that.
He's a slow eater though. Remember, that's why they don't like going to Waffle House.
Oh, that's
it takes
right.
a long
That's
time.
right. But he eats more than anybody there.
Right.
Yeah, it's odd because he's 100 and.
Well, I'd kill him in a speed eating competition. Man.
Okay, all right.
I'd murder him.
And you said whoever eats 7 first.
Yeah,
So-
7 waffles. Bring it, Shay.
It's on.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. And Georgia has more Waffle Houses than any other state.
Oh, I believe. Well, they originated in Georgia.
So we got to bring them here. It's going to be your home turf.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing it in Kennesaw too.
It's only fair.
Right off of Highway 41.
All right, so the next thing we're going to get into is the 10 count. 10 count is questions that we can essentially ask just about any one of our guests. We have a lot of these, and we're doing them at random, but now it's more of a let's pick and choose based on our guest. Our first question is, you can choose a superpower for yourself. What would it be?
Mind control.
Mind control.
Yeah. Or the power of suggestion, like Purple Man and Jessica Jones.
Okay.
Yeah. Mind control or power of suggestion.
Not so much Professor X, where you can do just about anything with your mind. But
see, here's my thing with Professor X. He can make everything move with his mind except his legs.
That's right. That's the old joke there.
Come on, Charles.
Yeah.
Get it together.
All right, question 2, dream match. We usually say dead or alive, but I want you to pick one of each.
Okay.
So, someone deceased that you would love to wrestle.
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart.
Owen Hart.
I thought that was kind of based on earlier.
Yeah.
All right, how about alive?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. You think he's still got enough to
Oh, yeah, man. That's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Yeah, he can still go. He got out when it was smart for him to get out.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say though, if he's letting Johnny Gargano coax him out of retirement by doing all these ab offs and all this stuff for a Mania match for them, I'm very upset.
Yeah. He's really stuck to the whole retirement thing. Unlike a lot of people. So
yeah, that's true. All right, so you talked about a lot of things that you had going on in your teenage years and things like that. Did you play any other sports?
I did before wrestling finally decided hey, I found you, you're mine. I played basketball, church league, because I wasn't very good up until the time I was played sports up until about 13. But I realized I wasn't cut out for basketball. 1, because I'm short. 2, because I'm not fast. I got a hell of a 3 though. I played baseball. I was really good at baseball. But around 13, again, I had my first match at 13, and once that happened, I was all in on wrestling. But in baseball, I was a pitcher, second base, shortstop. So I was that triangle of awesomeness right there. I wish I'd kept with it, but as a pitcher, I was trying to throw too hard, And even now, like my shoulder just isn't what it used to be, so I had to quit. That and wrestling kind of pulled me over.
Pulled you in,
Yeah,
right?
man.
There you go. Well, you mentioned singing in the car earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So who is your favorite riding partner?
Oh,
I
man.
hear you singing in the car.
I'm trying to think. Okay.
Are you going to name more than one?
Oh, no, because she probably won't like that I'm telling on her, but Priscilla Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah, when we ride in the car, we put on a bunch of the same pop punk stuff and like we jam out. So, although those road trips haven't happened very recently, but yeah, man, that's the one.
Okay. All right. So you have a genie in a bottle. This is question 5 on Take Down. You have a genie in a bottle, and
Is it Christina Aguilera?
no, you can choose to change
That could be the one.
one thing in the pro wrestling business, and you can make it happen. And that could be on any level, any kind of any
This
way.
is encompassing right here. I'm already there.
All right. What would you do?
I change all the fake stuff about this business, about how two-faced everybody can be, how plastic everybody can be, and I just want everybody, like I would want everybody just to be genuine and real. Because over the last 12 months, I've had the unfortunate, experience of realizing that everybody's not who they said they are, and everybody's just wanting to smile at you to get their own way. So I would change exactly how plastic the wrestling business can be sometimes.
All right. Okay.
You can't sit with me.
I actually brought my "You Can't Sit With Us" hat.
Oh, did you?
It's pink. It matches the shirt.
Yes!
I love Mean Girls. All right, so moving on, question 6 from
Number
Nate.
6. This is what we call the envy question, and I'm going to use Darius Lockhart. So
Okay.
let's say you can take anything from Darius that belongs to him: his college degree, his ITV title, which might be a possibility, his merch, his gimmick,
It could be
Anything of his.
tangible or intangible.
his vehicle, whatever car he might
Okay.
have.
Taking 2 things from you, Darius.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm going to take your talking ability, which comes so naturally to you that I hate you for
That
it.
is good.
Yes.
2, I'm taking your physique because your traps are huge, your chest is big, your legs are like proportionate to everything. I hate you. You're in such good shape. I'm taking everything from you, Darius.
You know,
Talking in your body, they're mine.
It's our first shoot interview.
Yeah. You know what's
Oh,
funny
no,
about
no, no. If
that?
y'all wanted me to shoot, trust me, it'd be a lot messier than that.
What's funny about that? Shay said the same thing.
Oh, really?
He said, "I want
Yeah.
Darius's build."
Yeah,
Size.
man,
Yeah.
he's a brick house.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's say you're in a street fight. Let's say we're out at a bar,
Okay.
and 3 guys challenge you to a fight outside.
Are they Marines and are we in Syracuse?
We're in Kennesaw, man. We're in
Oh,
Kennesaw.
so they ain't got a chance.
Kennesaw Waffle House is where we are.
They ain't got a chance.
You can pick any 2 indie wrestlers to go out there and legit fight with you
Okay.
against these 3 guys.
Joe Black Murder won
Really?
right off the bat. I mean, we're not on the greatest terms at AWE or anywhere else right now, but I know for a fact those 2 got my back, and they're not going to leave any room for anybody to like get their hands on me. So, yeah. Yeah,
Alright.
man.
And they'd probably already be at Waffle House with you in Kennesaw
Oh, yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah.
Perfect. Now, this is a fun question we like to ask. There's always kind of a story involved. And Joe kind of dialed this question at first when I added it in the very beginning, but tell us about your first car.
Oh, man. Okay. It's kind of a 2-part story.
Okay.
So my dad gave me like a '94 Honda Civic, which was a stick shift, and like on like flat areas I'm good. Like I can shift and like downshift and everything like that. I took it out to fill it up with gas one day. My neighborhood was coming down a hill, and you had to turn left. But me, I was an idiot, and I didn't know I could just throw it in neutral and like coast.
Mm.
So me, being an idiot, I downshift from 4th to 1st, y'all. Screwed everything all up in that transmission. Like, I had to replace the transmission completely, like the flywheel, everything was just screwed. So like that, I had that. And then I drove this truck for a while. It was like this old little Chevy. I drove that all senior year. So yeah, Honda Civic and a little Chevy S10 were my first 2 cars.
Okay. Chevy, what year was the S10?
Oh God, it was older than the Honda.
Okay.
It was probably like maybe like a 91, maybe a 90. I don't even remember.
always like the 93. 93 is the last year of the square body front on the.
Yeah, it was that one.
They rounded
it
out.
It was that one, but it was old, man. Like, it was blue, and it had, like, that terrible, like, tan, like, paneling on the middle of it.
Okay.
Ugh. It was the worst.
So it's always a story. Always a story behind the first car.
That's the worst.
What's your favorite cookout order? What's your typical
All right,
cookout?
Cajun chicken tray. Plain. I don't want anything on it except Cajun seasoning and Texas Pete. Either double fries or nuggets and fries for my sides with a large drink, and you know I'm going with that cheer wine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the cheer one. All right, so lose one. This is the topic this question Joe came up with. So basically, we're going to take two things, and you have to choose between the two. And
Okay.
that's one never existed. I'm going to say this EW championship.
Okay.
It's your backyard. It's EW. You're totally invested in the company. It seems from what you've talked about. So you would lose this title and never have a chance at it again, or the flip side, you have to shave your head
You lose your hair, man.
and never grow it back again.
Oh.
Hair or
Ugh.
We got him.
Man, that's not fair, y'all.
I love it when we get these reactions on the lose one. We know we got it right. We know we killed it when we do
hair will
this.
grow back. Hair will
No,
grow
you
back.
can't. You can't.
No!
You have to
This
ball
is,
forever.
we say lose one, it's forever.
Damn.
Yeah, ball
It's
forever.
All right.
Stone cold.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to let you go, dog.
Oh, the title.
My
The
hair.
hair trumps the title. That wow.
Never ever.
How long was it for you to actually win this? Because I
2
know.
years.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
I knew it was at least a year.
2 years.
I knew it was at least a year.
Forever.
And you're still struggling with that decision.
Yeah, I
Oh, what we got, Nate?
Yeah, we're done. So let's plug your social media. Where
Yeah.
people can follow
Hey.
you, where they can contact you for bookings, that kind of thing.
do.
Merch.
Yeah. Chip Day 88 on everything. Instagram, Facebook. Twitter's a little different. Twitter's @ Chip Day 88 because like at the beginning of everything, like my Twitter and no, like okay, hold on. Facebook and Instagram were the same. Chip Day 88. My Twitter was @do_or_die88, and everybody hated that because they never could find me. And Milo Beasley actually told me I should brand myself intelligently and just make everything the same.
Yeah.
And Josh Wheeler and me were having a conversation about how he hates underscores.
Mm.
And I decided to brand myself intelligently and make Josh Wheeler hate me even more. So that's why the underscore is before Chip Day 88 on my Twitter. Find me all there. chipday88@gmail.com if you want to book me. You can even send me private messages on Twitter, MySpace. No, not MySpace.
Whoa.
Wait.
Not MySpace. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, just don't screenshot my DMs to you and put them out on the internet, please. So
Merch,
yeah,
Fully Gimmicked?
merch. Come see me at shows or go to fullygimmicked.com. And this.
Yep. And you can get shirts like this.
You can get nice sweet tie-dyes.
You can choose any color. on
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah. That's
This-
one thing they did on the website. They made like every single color option available for like print and t-shirts on these, which is awesome. And they've also switched over to, they're only going to use like soft feel t-shirts from now on.
Oh, good.
Which I'm really excited about.
And I'll say this too. The one thing one of the things your merch is actually my favorite. But one of the things that's really cool about it is front back.
Yeah.
And so, especially with this, with the black and the pink, it pops and people notice it. But I like the fact that it has front and back, so people, got all the nicknames, or almost all the nicknames on the back.
Yeah, oh man, I'm
Really
going to
cool.
do one soon. It's going to look like a concert tee. And then on the back, instead of like dates,
Mhm.
it's going to be nicknames.
Did he tell you this already?
Uh-uh.
Did you tell me that?
I might have told you that, yeah.
Because I thought that was a really cool idea. Because I was about to say, wait a minute, I heard this from either one of you.
Yeah, it's going to be like a cartoon on the front and like a bunch of
That's
nicknames on
really
the
cool.
back.
Is that the Chip character, like the Chippendale?
No, I'm really hesitant to put that on a t-shirt because I don't want to get hit with like likeness right, like cease and desist and stuff like that.
It was cool looking then.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Buckshot did a great job on that. If anybody needs graphic work, hit up Buckshot Art on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, he's really good.
Anything else you want to plug?
Tonight, Viral Bro. You guys probably aren't going to see this in time, but we're here tonight. If you see
future
this before
shows.
12/27, AWE is going to be at the Marietta Event Hall in Marietta, Georgia. January 13th and 14th, I'm going to be at PWX.
Yes, X16.
Man, there's craziness going on. And in January, I'm going down to Florida again for Ignite on the 27th of January. So, my 2018 is pretty much wide open. So if you're seeing this and you like what you see, and if you want to go check out my matches on YouTube, it's really easy. Chip Day versus. Just search it, and then you can find me versus a lot of people. Don't watch the Melissa Coates match. Don't judge me off of that. I was a young kid. They were checking my attitude, and I did really good. But yeah, man, that's it.
Excellent. So you can find us. We're branded the same, like you mentioned, all the same. Suplexes Mike. So it's at Suplexes Mikes on Instagram, on Twitter. Facebook is facebook.com or fb.com. Also works in /Suplexes Mikes. For our YouTube channel, it's tinyurl.com/Suplexes Mikes. So that's our stuff. So anything else, Joe?
That's it. Thank you guys for joining us. This is our last interview for 2017. So the next interview will occur in 2018. So Chip, you close out the year for us, man.
See you next year. I hate when people do that.
Thanks for watching.